Hello, my name is Alan, and today I'm going to present effects of virgin micro and nanoplastics on fish, trends, meta-analysis, and perspective. And, and first, let's talk about what is nanoplastics. Nanoplastics is defined as the particles below 100 nanometer, and while the microplastic defined typically as part below 5 millimeter. And this is the reference rule that we can see that the 1 millimeter equals to 1,000 micrometer, and while 1 micrometer equals to 1,000 nanometer. And this is the nanoplastic and microplastic size and concentration classes. This figure summarizes all the plastic size and concentration classes uses in this review. And here are the MISC, which means the miscellaneous class. It is when polymer size included 2 or more size classes, or when the polymer concentration was not possible to standardize. And the food concentration are expressed in milligram, and the particle concentration are per grain of fish per day. And the occurrence we are facing now is that the environmental plastic pollution is a major ecological and societal concern today. Over the past decades, a broad range of laboratory and experimental studies have complemented field observation in the hope of achieving a better understanding of the effects and impacts of microplastic and nanoplastic on diverse organisms. And however, the plastic pollution remains challenging to monitor in the environment and to control under laboratory conditions. And plastic particles are often naturally or experimentally contaminated with diverse chemical pollutions. Therefore, our understanding of the effects of virgin plastic in freshwater and marine fish is still limited. And later on, I will perform a systematic review of the latest studies on the effects of virgin microplastic, nanoplastic on fish under laboratory conditions. And the purpose, we want to know that experimental studies reveals that the toxicity of virgin plastic on fish should be more systematically evaluated using the laboratory-based methods and aims toward a better understanding of the mechanism of the toxicity to fish. And I hope I will convince you in this talk that we should recycle as much as we can go to green. And later I will perform the literature research published is before March 2019. And the study is focused on the effects of virgin micro and nanoplastic on fish. And the study using the database Elsevier, Google Scholar, Schoolbox, and Web of Science. And here are the experiments. The first thing first, the study corresponds to experiments performed under the laboratory-controlled condition. And secondly, the study examines at least one toxicological effects of direct exposure to virgin plastic on fish at the larval, juvenile, or adult stage. And third, the study includes a no microplastic control treatment because as we know that the experiments must have the control group and the comparison group. And the results of the study are supported by appropriate statistics. And here are the general trends in the experimental research on the effects of virgin plastic on fish. And we can see the studies from 2011 to 2018 are continuously increasing. And here are the effects of virgin plastic on fish, and that were published before the March 2019. And the B to G donor chart, respective proportion of fish water environment, the fish feeding diet, the life stage, and the polymer type, and the shape of fish, and the exposure pathway to fish. And while this round donor chart, the white part of the donor chart indicates the number of the endpoints studied in each biological category. And the internal colored part of the donor chart indicates the proportion of affected endpoints, which is mean for which significant differences were observed between control fish and fish exposed to virgin plastic. And a total of 782 endpoints were identified. The most studied endpoint category was metabolism, is 305, and follow the fitnesses, 128, and immune system, 112, and behavior, sensory, and neuromuscular function, 100, and alimentary and excretory system, 72, microbiome, 51, and less circulatory and respiratory system, here 24. And this is the ecotoxical effects of virgin plastic on fish, biological function and system according to plastic size and concentration class. The circle size indicates the number of endpoints, and the colored indicates the proportion of affected endpoints. The significant differences were observed between control fish and fish exposed to virgin plastic that look experimentally at the effects of virgin plastic on fish. And here's the conclusion. The aspect of research on the ecotoxicology of plastic to fish highlights that the toxicity of virgin plastic is expected to be quite low and thus generally neglected.
So my name is Chewy. I would like to ask that because there are a lot of effects that you study here, like including like metabolism, including fitness on the fish, and I would like to ask, how do we know like the effects on the fishes? Do they tell you in the paper?
There are many effects of fish, and how do I know? Did I learn it from the paper?
Yeah.
Most of the paper they indicates from the chart. Yeah.
Yeah, but how do they get all these data?
How do they get all these data? Actually, I don't know.
I don't really understand what is a virgin microplastic.
The virgin means initial, and microplastic.
Hi. I want to know whether MP will convert to MP with time. Microplastic will change to nanoplastic.
How the microplastic change to nanoplastic? From the food chain, the microplastic will turn into a nanoplastic by the bigger fish to eat the smaller fish, and by time to time, the plastic will from the microplastic to change to nanoplastic.
Hi, Eden. I want to ask you. You say this paper is use the past data, and
Yes.
but I wonder that where they get the fish, where they choose the fish to find the plastic. You know what I mean?
Where to find?
Where they which area they use to do this research?
Oh, which area?
Yeah. And
But
what kind of creature the fish have many kinds.
oh yeah,
So which they choose?
which area did the paper choose, and which fish did the paper choose? Because this is the average one, so I did not know where the area of the fish did they choose, because the paper did not mention.
Maybe you can just tell me what is that one, the purple one. Just mean adult fish or some kind of fish.
You say this?
Yeah.
The toxicity in the fish when the larva is just 70%, and while the juvenile become to 36, and while to the adults it become more to 45%.
Can you go back to page 12? Can you explain what's the different role in different small figure because the word is too small? For example, the metabolism and a different role.
I used to search, but I forget now.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, because I'm not a specialist in biological.
This paper should be very easy to present because this paper itself doesn't generate scientific data. It summarizes the data generated by other people, okay? In a way, it's a review paper, strictly speaking. However, because it has done some statistics, so I consider it also as a research paper. And referring to Hardy's question, I think you were unable to address it clearly during the Q&A session. This study only chooses the study that is based on laboratory experiments, okay? Not wild fish. You have to say that clearly. You have mentioned it somewhere here. Laboratory-based method. Do you know what that means?
Oh yeah, but the fish is caught from the what and will be called to the laboratory.
And where does the plastic come from? What does that mean, using laboratory-based method? That means the plastic was artificially added to the fish to examine the effect of plastic to the fish. It's not naturally ingested by the fish. It's added by the scientist in order to study the effect to the fish. You need to be able to explain that next time. so that the question like those of Hardy will be addressed. And then, while the way you present it is very nice, I appreciate that considering what I know from your previous presentation, this is really great improvement. However, regarding your presentation of the results, it should be improved. For example, when you talk about this, what do these percentage mean? Does it mean the fish that are affected by plastics? What does this number mean?
It is the circumstances of the organism.
That are affected by plastics?
Yes.
No. These are the experimental condition. As I just mentioned, this is a summary of other experiments. So these are the experimental condition because he probably summarized maybe 100 experiments. And these are the statistics of these experiments, not the percentage of the fish affected by plastics. So you see, you haven't even understand this figure. And the way it is presented is totally unacceptable. This is super small. This is super small. And you were trying to explain this pie chart. However, you said a lot during your presentation without printing any keywords. Like what are the black, the white part and the color part of this pie chart? You have said that during your presentation. I know what they are because I have read the paper. But you have to consider that most of them didn't read this paper. So you need to say you need to print keywords on your slide saying the white part means what, the color percentage means what. Also, regarding each of these, I think each of them deserve a specific slide, enlarge them. You might say, I don't have that much time to explain them all. Then you maybe choose maybe one or two that you think are important, especially those with red, because apparently the red part means the fish are affected, right? So you should show it like this one, or maybe this one. You already see the red parts. That means the fish are sensitive to plastics, microplastics. Okay, not showing this, and then without any conclusion. The same to this one. Okay, I can't see any of this standing there. And even after reading this, you have tried to explain this, I still have no idea what is the key conclusion. At the end, this talk gave me the feeling that it has no conclusion. But this is because of the way you presented it. Apparently, there should be a conclusion. Okay? So you need to figure out you don't need to present them all, but you need to maybe select one or two rows and make it really, really large, and then present it well, and then tell us what is the key effect of microplastic to fish. Okay, so not this way. So far, there's no key message now. Okay, so you have not convinced me to go green, sorry. Okay, see you next, I hope to see your improvement.